We begin with breaking news. Fire crews responded to a fire in Rutherford County this morning. Sky 5 got to the scene just a few hours ago. Well, maybe about an hour ago, actually. This home is in Rockvale on South Windrow Road. You can see the home is damaged, some parts of it destroyed. We're talking to officials to try to get more information for you. More breaking news. A man shows up at the hospital after being shot in the stomach. Sophie Nielsen-Colding is at Vanderbilt, where the victim walked in just before midnight. And Sophie, he was not just shot once, but twice, right?
That's right, Amy. Police tell me that he was in critical but stable condition, but well enough to talk to officers, because at last check, the police captain told me that a detective came here to Vanderbilt University Hospital to try to talk to the victim, and he says the detective was actually here for quite some time getting a statement from him about what happened. We're still working to find out those details, but here's what we know so far. The shooting happened around 11 o'clock last night in the Edge Hill area around 14th Avenue South. Police say that the victim was shot twice in the stomach, and then a friend drove him here to the hospital. There were two suspects involved. They took off running, and the description that we have of them is they're two African-American men. One has dreadlocks, was dressed in all black. One has a short afro, was dressed in a gray shirt and black pants. Police are on the lookout for those two men this morning. If you know anything about this crime, you're free to call Crime Stoppers 74-CRIME. That number is 615-74-CRIME. If you were in that area last night and heard anything or saw anything or may have seen these men running away, you're welcome to call Metro Police or Crime Stoppers. Live in Nashville, Sophie Nielsen-Colding, News Channel 5.
Thank you. And we're expecting to learn more today about the Metro teacher arrested for secretly recording dozens of elementary school students undressing. Let's check in with Dan Kennedy. He's been following the story for us. He's at the courthouse this morning. And Dan, is Jarrett Jones expected to be in court this morning?
Good question, Amy. He actually is, according to sources, not going to be in the courthouse today, but his attorneys are. And the district attorney last night met with some of the family members of these victims, and the DA has encouraged those families to show up in court as well. So you're going to have attorneys, and you're going to have family members potentially. You're going to have a judge, but you're not going to have the suspect in this case. And last night we did speak with one mother of one of the victims. Here's what she said.
I'm shocked. I'm mad. I'm upset. Oh my God, I can't tell you.
It was earlier this week we told you about the arrest of 31-year-old Jarrett Jones, now charged with secretly recording dozens of his elementary school students undressing. A fellow teacher discovered those videos on Jones's computers. Detectives say he even admitted to setting up a camera inside a closet while he was working at Napier Elementary School as a music teacher, recording at least 40 students changing clothes. Right now he's being held on a $100,000 bond. The prosecutors are going to ask for the judge to up that bond, raise it a little bit. We're going to be in court at 12:30 today. We'll see if that happens. We also could learn more details about a case that this morning is affecting dozens of local children. Reporting live this morning in downtown Nashville, Dan Kennedy, News Channel 5.
Thank you, Dan. And right now, a man remains in the hospital after being shot a number of times in East Nashville. Witnesses told police they saw four men standing near the corner of Chester and Scott Avenue when someone started shooting. The victim was hit multiple times, including once in the head. He is expected to survive, though. Police are still looking for the shooter and the two other men who were with him. An investigation is happening now after a fugitive was shot and killed by a Metro police officer. Sandy Duke was wanted in Robertson County. Investigators say he broke into a home yesterday, tied up an elderly person, and stole some items, including a cell phone and an SUV. Detectives used that phone to track down Duke to East Nashville on Dickerson Pike.
The officers were commanding the suspect to stop. Instead of doing so, he turned toward them with pistol in hand. When he turned toward them with the gun, East Precinct Flex Officer Wesley McClelland fired on the suspect.
Investigators say Officer McClelland fired 4 rounds in defense. Duke did not survive his injuries. Last week, Robertson County deputies launched a search for the 43-year-old after he violated the terms of his bond. Duke has been in and out of prison since 1991. Another officer-involved shooting investigation continues in Decatur County over the death of Charles Dove. TBI tells us deputies first tried to pull him over yesterday because the car he was driving matched the description of one in a robbery. The 35-year-old sped off and drove down an embankment. At one point, shots were fired. Dove was killed. Deputies found a gun on him, but it's unclear if he ever fired it. And a convenience store clerk is recovering after getting hit by a car. Officers say a woman took a six-pack of beer from the Twice Dailies on Bell Road overnight. And when the clerk came out to get the license plate number of that getaway car, the suspects backed into her. She's expected to be okay. The Metro City Council has approved a controversial bill. Council members voted 35-3 last night to pass a bill decriminalizing small amounts of marijuana, which means the penalty for anyone caught with half an ounce or less can face a $50 fine or community service. Right now, the punishment could be up to a year in jail and a $2,500 fine. Those in favor say it's about time, but not everyone agrees.
I think we're sending a very mixed message to the young people, to any people here in Nashville that thinks now it's okay to go out and buy a half ounce of marijuana or below and there'll be no consequences. The same consequences exist right now that existed yesterday.
Mayor Megan Barry has yet to sign the bill, but she released a statement supporting last night's decision. And the fight for a fiber ordinance is over. Metro Council passed that last night as well. One Touch Make Ready. They passed it on the third vote last night. It was unanimous. The vote gave the green light for Google to move lines that belong to AT&T and Comcast to install its own fiber network. There was a resolution to defer the bill, but a majority of the council voted it down, then unanimously approved it.
We could be a nation, if not world leader on this. I think with our private carriers competing in that space, we could really be a leader in tech and with internet speeds for cost.
AT&T and Comcast have strongly opposed the idea. AT&T has brought up a possible lawsuit against Nashville, similar to one they're pursuing in Louisville. Mayor Barry says the move is common sense and she plans to sign the law.